Well, hunger doesn't go on vacation just because school lets out. We're the most awesome state in the richest country in the world, and like a quarter of our kids are either in poverty or at the edge of poverty. Like, you can't learn if you're hungry, right? I mean, it's that basic. So if all of the kids, right, who are getting fed, if all of them were getting fed in the summer, whether that's by a library or a community center or a church or whoever it happens to be, right, that would be the ideal.
Public libraries are natural spaces for providing children and teens with meals during the summer. They're trusted spaces at the heart of the community. They're popular with families. And also, library staff are able to provide programming and resources along with the meal service. And so more and more public libraries are now starting to serve meals, and more families are going to the library for those meals.
We'll see all types of families, young children, teens, and their parents or their grandparents or their caregivers coming in, and not only the youth connecting, but those parents and caregivers connecting as well. So there's just so many benefits to that. And then while they're here in the library for the meal program, they're getting connected to everything else we have in the library that they never knew, of course. Oh, the library does that? Yeah, we do, right? We not only have the summer reading program, we have programs for your children, story time. We've got programs for your teens. We have a lot of adult programs, all of the resources we have. And sometimes it's even being that bridge to other resources in the community, which is just an amazing thing to be able to kind of be that community partner and the resource our community needs us to be.
The reading program at the library has been a huge help because it encourages them to read, and while we come to the library, they also get the lunch. So they get the lunch, we come for a little bit, then they go on the computer or whatever, and then they grab books, they sit down to read, and they just love it. They enjoy it. They enjoy the lunch, they love the lunch. And I also think that there's a lot of families that do not have the income to feed their children those 3 meals a day. So coming to the library and just having that one meal it's a huge help.
Basically, the free lunch program is very beneficial, as I am, a super dad. I have been for 5 years, raising them by myself, and we don't make a lot of money, or I don't make a lot of money, so I normally rely on school lunch and school breakfast, but during their summer school program, they only offer free breakfast, not free lunch. So we find it very beneficial that I'll pick them up and then we'll come straight away here, and it is a huge blessing.
Libraries don't have to pay for the meals that they serve. The meals are provided by what's known as a meal sponsor, which is typically a school district or a food bank, and those meals are provided through the USDA summer meal program at no cost to libraries. The library is the site at which the meals are served to the children and the teens. And the level of programming that librarians choose to provide is entirely up to the individual library, but typically the programs are part of the overall experience that libraries provide for their communities in the summer. The Lunch at the Library program provides library staff with training and technical assistance that helps them establish and maintain a successful summer meal site. So we have in-person workshops and also one-on-one support for staff. We have a mentoring program that connects library staff with colleagues in different libraries, and we can also arrange site visits so that library staff can visit sites that are already up and running. We also encourage library staff to collaborate with other summer meal sites in the community, to take programming and books and create pop-up libraries that can attract families to other sites and increase summer learning and enrichment opportunities throughout the community.
Those staffing models can vary, but that's another thing that should not deter you from participating in the program. Hey, my staff already have so much to do, I can't take this on. You can, and there's so many models that everyone can look different and still be successful. So I encourage you to give it a try.
This is a really powerful and meaningful service to offer. We can feed their bellies and then feed their minds, and we think it's really, truly important for the community, and our community members have responded. Clearly, you can see the number of people that come and get lunch every day.
I think the biggest impact of summer lunch here at the library has really just been bringing in new families who are not aware even that the library is here. But summer meals brings them in and shows them and opens up their world. You know, it's really about providing a service that they need and then showing them everything else that they can get for free. And we see that time after time again because they come in for meals and then they'll walk around the corner and sign up for summer reading, and then they realize that we have story times for their baby, and then they start coming to baby story times. And then they'll look even larger and branch out and realize that they have something for their older teenager, something for that teen to actually do to keep them busy during the summer. So it's really just opening them up to what a library can offer for their entire family.
We have to utilize a small amount of paid staff, but we utilize volunteers to make it happen as well. And that time is well spent because the payoff is all of these kids in your community are fed, and then they're coming to your library and participating in your programs and services, and you have that opportunity to engage with them.
One of the things that I think happens really easily at summer meal sites is just this understanding that yes, there are federal regulations, and the biggest one is that the meals are only for youth 1 to 18. Everybody who runs a summer meal site knows that. I think what gets missed though is knowing that by feeding the kids, we're also allowing the parents to eat the food that they have at home. These families are hungry. There's food insecurities in our communities, and if we can feed their kids through a federal program, that means that those parents can go home and eat the food that they have in their fridges now.
The other thing I've seen at different places is collaborations. And that's another thing that libraries are really good at, is forming partnerships and finding people to expand the bandwidth of something that the library is trying to do.
One of the things that's been great for us in not only serving our community is connecting with community partners, whether it be nonprofits in the community, local businesses, or other city departments. So we've been fortunate to connect with local nonprofits and even secure grants from the Molina Foundation to give away books to our community. So we're not only showing families how they can utilize the library to borrow books, we're helping them build home libraries by giving them books for ownership.
Any library that's interested in becoming part of the program, please contact the Lunch at the Library program so that we can help you get started, whether that's through a site visit to a library that's already up and running, or a conversation with us, and really exploring just how you can do it. We've seen the program take place in libraries with community rooms with attached kitchens, and we've seen it take place in the stacks on a picnic blanket for those libraries that are smaller and don't have so many resources.
And there's such a huge benefit to not only the library but the community as well. On our part, we get the opportunity to connect with people in our community that we may not otherwise ever see here in the library, and may not get to know their needs and how we can best serve them. And then also for the community, it not only gives them, of course, healthy, nutritious lunch, it provides a space for parents and caregivers and their young children to actually have a meal together.
I think what is really cool about Lunch at the Library is that it has turned our library into a destination place for the summer. So families can come, bring all their kids, mom, dad, grandparents, whoever else.
In California, 1.7 million children who eat free or reduced price lunches during the school year do not access summer meals during the summer. And so it's so important that we expand all sorts of meal sites, whether they're in libraries or elsewhere. And so our goal is to continue encouraging more libraries to become summer meal sites, to make more meals accessible to children and provide nutritious meals for the children and teens who need them. We know that libraries are offering a wide variety of learning and enrichment programs over the summer, and children will be able to learn so much more from those programs and get so much more from those programs if they're not hungry when they're participating in them.
There has been no other program in my time working in libraries that has made us feel like we are more part of this center of everything going on in summer. More families are coming to us who we've never met before. Now they're participating in our programs and services. Our city administrators, our city council have talked about our program. Our library board has been thrilled with the results, and the partnership has deepened with our local school districts. And so this program, more than even summer reading program and story times and those things we think of as core services, has been really great at raising our profile, both in the community and within our own internal organization and our partners.
We're meeting the entire needs of every person in that family. And when you talk about summer meals, what you're ultimately doing is feeding people. Bottom line is that these people are eating. That's a hierarchical thing. You know, you can't succeed in other places of life if you are not fed, if you do not have a warm place to be, if you do not have clothes on your back. So for a public library to meet that basic necessity so that we can ensure that other things come to this family and that they have success in other ways, that is summer reading. You know, they are one and the same. They are now entwined. I don't see Ontario ever going to the place where one does not equal the other anymore. It is summer reading now. It's part of what we do. It's at the core of what we do. It brings in new families every year, and it provides an incredible service that we just cannot provide in any other way.
I'm struck more and more in this job by the passion that librarians bring to their work. When I see this program working, and I'm of an age, right, where the libraries, like, I'm sorry, there's noise. Like in my library as a kid, there was no noise. Somebody would stop, right? The food, like you couldn't bring food in there. And here are these things where these families and these kids and they're, right? There's noise, there's mess, there's all this stuff. And to a person, right, the librarians are like into it and see the value of it, not just for the people who are being served, but for the library, right? And for kind of the community at large. And that's killer. That's just unbelievably awesome.